Hello, my name is Merk. This is my channel. Welcome. We've recently started a series called Libraries of Outlands, and it has to do with all the books available throughout the Outlands. We were going to do one video, but there's way too many books and it's going to take way too long, and the video would have been like 3 days long. So we decided to do one single video on each book that we could find. Maybe sometimes we'll combine it and have 2 or 3. We'll see. I'm going to briefly go over the basics for weapon and parry codexes. Again, codex allow players to enhance their weapon skills by leveling the codex stances, as well as unlocking finishers and abilities for their particular weapon skill. All this can be found, by the way, at the website shown above. Players are able to craft codices with the inscription skill. All codices are blessed and cannot be stolen. The fencing codex requires 80 skill points in tactics and fencing. This must be a printed 80, not increased through magic 80. Each character's codex profile is stored per character and not in the item. So each character has their own experience with that codex. You gotta have the codex in the backpack to level it and use it. You can't use weapon abilities and finishers on backstabs. You gain experience points towards your codex by killing creatures with the weapon type matching the codex. So all those staffs. So you can double click the codex and you can see the progress and the menus and all the things you need there. On the top half of the codex gump, you'll see the 5 stances that you can advance in. You click the large button next to each stance to activate it. The small button gives you information about each one, which we'll be going over for Arcane in this video. You can only have one active stance for each codex you have active. Every time you change a stance, it will cost you 3 mana. There's no cooldown. Each stance can be upgraded with upgrade points up to rank 7. There's a codex hotbar, and if you select the stance in that, whatever stance that you select in that hotbar will auto-renew, so it will reactivate every 10 seconds. When a player reaches rank 5 in any stance for a skill, it unlocks the ability to select a finisher. If you have a finisher active, these finishers are large-scale weapon hits, and they often deliver special effects, which we'll talk about. Each codex has 2 finishers that you can choose from, at no cost. You can only trigger 1 finisher on each mob. But if you have a boss type creature, you can trigger a finisher every 60 seconds. Exceptions to that will be included in the discipline aspect armor set. The finisher has tiers. Every time you reach rank 5 in a stance, you'll get the opportunity to increase your finisher. Each tier of finisher has 2% more finisher chance. To occur is also scaled along with this weapon speed. The slower the weapon is, the more likely you are to hit it with a single swing. Each one of these codex has 3 weapon abilities that you can unlock and activate. It takes 50 points to unlock. Once unlocked, the lock symbol of the weapon is replaced with a large orb-shaped weapon ability button. In order for a player to perform weapon ability, the weapon ability meter must be full. All weapon abilities for players share the same weapon ability cooldown. Every 6 seconds, the player's weapon ability meter will fill by 10%, and by an additional 10% depending on your arms lore. This means that you can have 60-second cooldown, but can be decreased all the way down to 24 seconds. Once toggled, the weapon ability will trigger on the next melee hit a player lands, and the weapon meter will be reset, so it's controllable during combat. You can open a codex hotbar, which allows players to quickly change and view their stances, finishers, weapon abilities in one place, as well as set their stance to auto-renew or monitor their weapon ability meter. The codex hotbar can be accessed via the hotbar button at the bottom of the codex gump. So specifically, I want to get into the Swords Codex. Now, I want to take a look at the stances, each one, and then we're going to look at finishers and then the abilities. To start with, the first stance is aggressive, and the aggressive stance allows you to increase accuracy and damage by 3.5% per rank, but the player takes 1% more damage per rank from all sources, so a little trade-off. Defensive, this stance allows a weapon swing increase your damage resistance to all enemies by 4% per rank for 5 seconds, and this does not stack. I see the next one is a cleave. Cleave allows you to deal 8% more damage per rank towards a random enemy within 2 tiles. Warrior stance. You can increase your accuracy and defense and damage by 2% per rank. And then the last one is flaying. And this one allows you to increase non-aspect bleed damage by 10% per rank. Now your finishers, you have 2 of these, bleed out and execute. And bleed out is going to be, it applies a bleed effect equal to 500% damage. You only receive 50% of the bonus from a flaying stance. Okay. Now, execute inflicts 350% of damage to target and then immediately resolves all remaining bleed text damage on target that has been inflicted by the player. Now you have 3 abilities available to you with the Swords Codex. The first one is Spin Lash, and for the next 15 seconds, accuracy, damage, and weapon special chance is increased by 15%. Now your second ability here is Rend, and that one will immediately resolve all remaining bleed ticks player has on target, and for 15 seconds, new weapon special bleed effects are increased by 25% damage. The last ability is going to be Chop, and that's increases your melee hit. The trigger's ability has its damage increased by 200%. Okay, so that means the damage further scaled up by weapon speed as well. So that's a pretty good trade-off there. So swordsmanship has got a lot of perks to it here, especially the Codex. There's other things to consider. What aspects you're going to combine with that, and I would suggest to start with Earth. It's fairly easy to raise. It's fairly cheap. It's got some good perks in it. There's of course others that you can use, but to start with, Earth's a good one. For your chain, I haven't discussed much about that, but there's always melee swing speed increase links and melee damage and more armor chance, melee accuracy. All these melee increases that you can get, they're always good for this type of build. Alright, I think that's it. If you have any comments or questions or anything else, just don't forget to put them in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them or communicate back with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well. We all need that support. Hit that post notification button so you know next time I send out a video you can watch it. And that's all I have. Thanks. Peace.